Turn-based RPGs have been around for decades, and while there are plenty of great ones out there, a lot of them eventually boil down to the same question: what's my strongest attack? Signy Mino Against All Gods asks something completely different. How long can you keep this combo going? That single idea completely changes how combat feels. After playing through the game, I think Signy Mino has some of the most satisfying turn-based combat I've played in a long time. When I first saw Signy Mino Against All Gods, I was immediately drawn by its gorgeous hand-drawn art style. Each character has so much personality, the animations are incredibly expressive, and the game has this charming Saturday morning cartoon energy that instantly stood out. But what kept me playing wasn't the visuals, it was the combat. Almost immediately after starting the game, I realized there was something special here. Every battle felt like a puzzle, where I wasn't just deciding what move to use, I was trying to figure out how to keep my combo alive for as long as possible. It's impossible to talk about Signy Mino without talking about its combat because it's easily the biggest reason to play the game. The easiest comparison is probably the Mario Luigi RPG series with a mix of Paper Mario. Both games use time button presses during attacks to keep you actively engaged instead of simply selecting commands from a menu. But Signy Mino doesn't stop there. Timing is only one part of the equation. You're also paying attention to enemy positioning, launching enemies into the air, juggling them between attacks, and figuring out which abilities naturally flow into one another to extend your combos. So instead of asking, did I press the button at the right time, you're constantly thinking, okay, if I launch this enemy with this move, can I chain into another attack before they hit the ground? That extra layer of strategy makes every encounter feel incredibly rewarding. And the best part is, the game teaches you this naturally. As you unlock new abilities throughout the adventure, your options continue to expand. Suddenly, you're revisiting old strategies with new attacks. You're experimenting, you're discovering new combo routes. And before you realize it, you're actively looking forward to the next battle just to see how ridiculous of a combo you can put together. That's great RPG design. One thing I really appreciated was how rewarding progression feels. You level up at a really comfortable pace simply by playing the game naturally. There was never a point where I felt like I had to stop and grind for experience. Instead, leveling happened naturally, and every level gave me an opportunity to invest in the skill tree. More importantly, those upgrades actually matter. Unlocking new abilities isn't just watching numbers get bigger. You're gaining entirely new tools that open up fresh combo opportunities. And because combat is the heart of the experience, every new skill feels meaningful. It constantly reinforces the game's biggest strength. Visually, the game is absolutely gorgeous. I'm already a huge fan of hand-drawn games, so Signy Mino immediately had my attention. The animation is smooth, expressive, and full of personality. The bits of voice acting also deserve a shout out. They're used sparingly, but they go a long way toward making the cast feel more alive. And Signy's voice actress especially does an excellent job capturing her personality. Pair all that with a fantastic soundtrack and the game has an identity that's hard to ignore. The story itself is enjoyable, but I don't necessarily think it's the reason you'll remember this game. The writing is witty, lighthearted, and filled with the kind of quippy humor that I personally enjoy. There are definitely some genuinely funny moments throughout the adventure. Characters like Baba, Signy's grandmother, immediately stand out and leave a lasting impression. She's introduced through what's essentially a tutorial boss fight, and seeing this sweet little old lady completely overpowered you is a hilarious way to introduce the game's combat. That said, I think the story mainly exists to support the gameplay rather than the other way around, and I think that's perfectly okay. Not every game is perfect, and there were a few areas where I think Signy Mino could have gone even further. I would have loved to see more boss fights built specifically around mastering the combo system. The combat is so good that I wanted even more opportunities where the game really challenged me to use everything I learned, and I want to fight an actual enemy than just beating up some rock. And while I enjoyed the overall journey, I did feel that the ending wrapped things up a little abruptly. It wasn't bad, I just found myself wanting more. What impressed me most about Signy Mino Against All Gods is how confident it is in its core idea. It understands exactly what makes its combat fun and spends the entire game building on that foundation. The hand-drawn presentation is beautiful, the music is excellent, the characters are charming, the progression feels rewarding, but every one of those elements exists to support the real star of the show, the combat. It's interactive, it's creative, it's satisfying, and it constantly encourages experimentation instead of repetition. If you're a fan of games like Mario Luigi or Paper Mario, but you've always wished there was a little more strategy involved in creating stylish combo-heavy battles, I think Signy Mino is absolutely worth checking out. It doesn't just borrow ideas from turn-based RPGs, it builds on them. A huge thank you to Armor Games Incorporated for providing a review copy of Signy Mino Against All Gods. If you've played the game, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And if you're a fan of turn-based RPGs, what's your favorite combat system? As always, thank you guys so much for watching the Razzle Dazzle Show. We'll catch you on the next one.